Last week I talked about some of my favorite budget home organizing products, and one of them was a 3-ring binder, and in the ideas I showed an example of a DIY jewelry holder, and you guys unanimously commented, show us how to make this. So I came up with 2 versions and I'm going to show you how to make them both today. Let's get started. This was a super fun project to get to do, but I didn't have any main idea, so I was online looking at some examples of what other people had made for these. Some of them I was surprised at how pricey they were. My favorite of all the examples, though, was a frame just like you would see on your window with a screen inside of it. It was essentially a miniature screen, and I really liked that idea. But what I got from all of them was the gist that there needed to be a frame, not only for stability, but so that there was some sort of spacer to protect the jewelry as it lays down upon each other, and so that the posts on the back of your earrings would have some sort of safety device laid in so that they didn't get bent. So with that principle, I designed both of today's examples with a frame around it. So the first thing that I did was get out some of my handy dandy foam core. I always get mine at the dollar store, but you can also get these at the 99-cent store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, and get them on at Amazon. Of course, that is your most expensive option. Now, if you are watching from another country, I know this type of product is a little bit harder to find, but you could use some sort of corrugated cardboard, or I know they sell the felt or the foam for crafting that's a little bit thicker. So whatever you can find in your area, you just want something that's right around 1/2 inch thick so that you have that protective area for your jewelry to lie in safely. So I'm going to be using some scraps. I got 2 types of cutters, and I also got a sheet of needlepoint. This is the type that you would do the cross-stitch needling on. I got one with smaller apertures, so it's a finer mesh, but these are super inexpensive and you might already have one lying around the house. I had some foam core strips and I wanted to see how my rotor cutter worked on here, so I tried that with my straight edge. It wasn't a deep enough space with my blade to cut all the way through, so I ended up having to use my craft knife anyway, so I decided to just go ahead and use my craft knife. If you have a long ruler, it really is the best. I decided to cut my frame strips in 1 inch so that it would be easier and a little bit more sturdy because they do tend to bend once they get thinner. I went ahead and cut several strips because I didn't know exactly how I was going to make this yet. I was winging it. So with the plastic canvas sheet, I went ahead and cut it down to fit my notebook. I'm using a 3-ring notebook, and I'm just going to go ahead and build a standard frame. So I'm going to go the long ends first, and I'm not doing any fancy mitered cuts or anything. I'm just cutting it down to size. And thankfully, because these were longer strips, the excess works perfectly to cut down and frame out those bottom pieces. And I'm just eyeballing the cuts. I'm going from corner to corner where the edges are. I'm not making this too difficult. Once I get all of the pieces lined up, I am going to go ahead and use my glue gun to attach these. Now I don't want the glue going through to my mat, so I got a little piece of paper that was slick on one side. It was a leftover sticker sheet, and I'm going to go ahead and push it through so that the glue doesn't stick. Fortunately, this was a good enough adhesion with the glue gun, with the foam core to the plastic grid, so this was sufficient for me. I did go ahead and rub it on the side so I had a nice smooth edge, but if I had any runoff, I could just go ahead and cut it off with my craft knife. And I did make sure that the cleanest edge was on the outside so it still looked pretty. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put the 2 end pieces in. This is a super easy project. Once this was put all together, I noticed that there was a little bit of give where those joints were, so I just added a little bit of hot glue on both of those to miter those edges together. I want this to be a sturdy piece so that as the weight of the jewelry is going on there, it stays rigid and there isn't any movement allowing the jewelry to fall off. So by adding glue to those corners, it really strengthened that up. I always keep a little scrap around so I can wipe away any excess glue. And then of course I deal with all the little spider webs that come from using a glue gun. So this is nice and sturdy. Now I discovered one of the things I hadn't thought of before, which is how am I going to put this in my notebook? I figured that I could just pull out my little Crop-A-Dile and put some little holes in once I had aligned it to my 3-ring binder. However, I realized that this was much thicker than what my Crop-A-Dile can handle, so I was able to wiggle it in on one edge, but it left a big dent. And it also was a smaller diameter than what I was happy with. So I went ahead and gave up on that. I got out my 3-ring binder punch, and that was too narrow as well. And I don't have a paper hole punch that's just a single hole punch. So hopefully you do, and that will make this easier. I ended up having to take my craft knife and just cutting a small circle, which is a little bit more work and a little bit more difficult because I had to go through the canvas, the glue, and the foam core. So if you have a hole punch, that will be easier. Once I got it in though, it was a little bit tight. I just worked it a couple of times and it was ready for me to start putting on my jewelry. Now, if you have jewelry that has a closed edge, you won't be able to get it through the canvas without cutting a notch. So with my craft knife, I just cut a little 3-sided U, leaving one side completely intact. This allows me to lift up the flap so that I can get the closed jewelry all the way around and still dangle. I would do this for as many pairs of closed back earrings that I have. Anything with a hook or a post though just goes through easily, and here's what it looks like all done. Now I wanted to give you a second option not using a canvas sheet. So I'm cutting down some foam core to the same size, 8.5 by 11. I'm reusing more of those strips, but this time I'm going to take a piece of paper as my guide to see if I can use my Crop-A-Dile. This did go through a little bit easier, but it's still thick and it still dents the foam core, so I had to go back to using the craft knife anyway. So I cut the 3 holes using the template of a piece of paper on my main board, and I repeated that step with the strip so that I have holes separately, and then once I've got the holes in, I can just go ahead and glue it together. This is some extra steps, and again, if you have a single hole punch, I think this would make it so much simpler, but I did not. So once I went ahead and marked it out, I quickly cut the holes with my craft knife, and then I was ready to glue it together. I did make sure that the holes were lined up well and one direction fit better than the other. Then it was just a matter of adding the glue. Foam core sticks to itself so well, so this is going to be a very strong bond. Then I can start adding the other frame sides all around, and I do make sure to wipe off any excess. So once again, I'm just building a little frame. I'm going to cut down those shorter remnant pieces from my strip the same way I did before. Just eyeballing it, cutting it down. I did do them separately though to make sure if one was a little askew that I was getting the best fit possible. This time I applied glue to the ends so that I do get that nice solid connection, but with the foam core backing being on there, this piece is going to be very sturdy. As I was making this, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cute to add a little saying inside of it? You could decorate this with contact paper, scrapbook paper, wrapping paper if you wanted to. I would do that at this point though, because the next step is making the holes for your jewelry and you wouldn't have to do that twice. I got a little ice pick out, but if you didn't have that, you could use a large needle or you could use a toothpick. I used the leftover piece of the plastic canvas as my guide just so they were straight, but you could easily use a ruler, and then I just went back in to make sure that they were bigger. Now I would map out the jewelry first so that you know the placement of the holes. On this I was just winging it, kind of deciding where I wanted the holes to go. Now for those earrings that are going to have a closed area, I spaced out the holes and then just cut a little half circle around them, making sure there was a connection in the middle. And then with my craft knife, I went through and made sure it was cut all of the way, but again, not closing in that circle. Then with the awl, I went ahead and made some creases. I'm basically creating some butterfly flaps so that I have an opening to thread through any hoops or earrings that have a closed backing on it. This was pretty quick, but I have to confess, I think the canvas was easier. But if you don't want to go out and buy that and you do want to just use foam core because of its price efficiency, do be aware that this was a little bit harder to work with. So if I were to do it again, I would have made these wider so that I had more room to play with it. Now here's something else I did. I took a paper clip and I cut it down so it was a skinny S so that I could hang rings off of here. You could also use this for bracelets, or if you have a lot of charms that you trade out for your chain, you could make a couple of these skinny S's from a paper clip and just place them around. I know they sell jewelry hooks and you could go ahead and buy those if you wanted to. I just wanted a very cost-efficient option with this DIY. Now here's what it looks like inside of the binder, and this is where the spacing is important. So right now the post from the first page is not inhibited because I have that recessed area to protect it. I hope that makes sense. So in a 3-ring binder, you could make as many sheets as you want. Obviously, if you have a lot, you would want to get a wider binder. This one is 1.5 inches, and I could probably get about 4 to 5 sheets in here. But it lays out really nicely, and I like the way everything dangles and you have easy access to it. If you had this on a shelf, no one would know that this had your jewelry in it, especially if you just had a non-specific label or paper inside of this. You would know what the binder contains, but no one else would. Now, if you did want to hang some longer jewelry, you could just go ahead and use those hooks that you can purchase, or add the little paper clip up at the top, and then you could hang the longer jewelry up along as well. If it's wider, I would add a second hook and just make a triangle. But this worked really well, and I'd like to know what you guys think. As I said, I do happen to like the canvas sheet better. I think that it's just easier to work with, and it was certainly less time consuming because I didn't have to make any of the holes. And cutting the little flap was super easy to do. So this is my first choice, but it was 75 cents for the canvas plus just a couple of pennies for the foam core frame. I don't think I would like it as well without the border around it. It's just too flimsy, and as you're moving things, it's going to have the tendency to buckle, especially if you have heavy jewelry on there. The foam core page is really sturdy, so if you have heavy jewelry you're trying to contend with, this one is awesome. But if you're trying to make the little flaps where you would need to put in the closed jewelry, that one was difficult. So I would reserve this one just for posts or for hanging rings, bracelets, necklaces, charms, and then keep this one for the other hanging earring jewelry. Either way, these are super cost efficient to do, and if you didn't want to keep them in a binder, you could make a small stand for the back and just stand this on a dresser or your vanity, or even add some of the command strip Velcro. You can hang them on the wall and then gently pull it off when you need to have access to your jewelry. I hope you like these DIY tutorials. This was a fun one to do, and it was very outside the box, and I liked getting to problem solve as I was making it. So let me know your thoughts. If you have other ideas of how to do this, please share them in the comments below. Your fellow viewers will very much appreciate your intake on how to do things, and I might get a great idea for something in the future. Thanks as always to my patrons. Their financial support really helps me to make these videos for you, and your watching, liking, and commenting supports me as well. So thank you for being here today on this video, and I will see you guys in just a few days. Bye!